Hello, everyone. Welcome back to English in Minutes. I'm Natasha, your host for today. If you're new here, I'd like to tell you that we upload new English learning videos every single day to help you improve your English faster and more naturally. In today's episode, you'll not only practice your English listening and speaking skills, but you'll also learn how to communicate confidently at work. Today's lesson is a complete advanced English fluency masterclass focused on workplace conversations. You'll learn how to express yourself clearly, use professional phrases naturally, and sound more fluent and confident in office discussions, meetings, and daily interactions with colleagues and clients. We'll go through real-life workplace situations that will help you understand how native speakers use English in professional environments. You'll hear and repeat essential English phrases, learn how to sound polite yet confident, and discover the expressions that make your English communication sound smooth, natural, and professional. By the end of this video, you'll be able to handle workplace conversations easily, from small talk with coworkers to formal discussions with your boss. You'll also get practical exercises to strengthen your speaking and listening fluency. So, grab a notebook, get comfortable, and let's get started. Let's begin with something simple: greetings and introductions at work. In English, how you greet someone at work can set the tone for your entire day. Imagine you walk into your office and see your coworker near the coffee machine. You can say, "Good morning, how are you today?" Or, "Hey, how's your morning going so far?" These little greetings sound polite and friendly at the same time. When you meet someone for the first time at work, it's important to introduce yourself confidently. You can say, "Hi, I'm Natasha. I work in the marketing department." Or, "Nice to meet you. I'm new to the team." Notice how simple and clear these introductions are. You don't need to say too much, just enough to make a good first impression. Let's practice together. Repeat after me slowly. "Hi, I'm Natasha. I work in the Department of Transportation." Again, slowly. "Nice to meet you. I'm glad to be part of the team." Good job! These are phrases you can use in almost any workplace environment, whether it's an office, a company, or even a remote job setting. Now, let's talk about one of the most common parts of office communication: small talk. Small talk might sound like something unimportant, but it's actually a very useful skill for building good relationships with your coworkers. Small talk usually happens before meetings, during lunch breaks, or while walking together to a meeting room. You can start small talk by asking questions like, "How's your day going?" Or, "Did you watch that new show everyone's talking about?" You can also talk about neutral topics like the weather or plans for the weekend. For example, "It's been raining a lot this week, hasn't it?" Or, "Do you have any plans for the weekend?" These questions help you sound approachable and friendly at work. Let's practice this kind of small talk together. I'll say a line, and then you repeat after me. "Hey, how's your day going so far?" "Not too bad, just getting ready for a busy day." "Oh, really? Same here. I've got a few meetings lined up." "Yeah, Mondays can be hectic." Excellent. This type of short, casual exchange can make your workplace feel more positive and connected. Another important part of communication at work is showing politeness and professionalism. English speakers often use polite phrases to sound respectful and collaborative. For example, Instead of saying, "Give me that report," it's more polite to say, "Could you please send me that report when you have a moment?" Or instead of, "I need it now," you can say, "I'd appreciate it if you could send it over soon." These small changes make a big difference in how you sound. Let's practice this politely together. Repeat after me. Could you please help me with this task? Would you mind sharing that file with me? I'd really appreciate your help. Great. Notice how these phrases use words like please, could, and would. They make your request softer and more professional. Now imagine you're in a team meeting and you want to share your opinion. You can start with phrases like, "In my opinion," or "I think we should consider another approach." If you want to sound more formal, you can say, "From my perspective," or "I believe that this idea could work better for our project." Here's a little practice. Repeat after me slowly. In my opinion, we can improve this process by simplifying the steps. I think we should focus more on teamwork and communication. From my perspective, this plan could lead to better results. Excellent. When you agree with someone during a discussion, you can say, "I completely agree with you," or "That's a great point." You can also say, "I see what you mean," or "That makes sense." But when you want to disagree politely, you can say, "I understand your point, but I think we could also look at it from another angle," or "That's an interesting idea, but maybe we should consider another option." Let's practice both agreeing and disagreeing politely. Repeat after me. I completely agree with you. That's a great idea. That's a valid point, but I think we can make it even better. I understand your view, but maybe we should try a different strategy. Perfect. At the workplace, tone matters a lot. Even if your words are correct, your tone can change how people perceive your message. If you speak too directly, you may sound rude without meaning to. If you speak too softly, you may sound unsure. So it's important to find a balance between politeness and confidence. Here's a quick confidence practice. Repeat these lines with clear voice and steady rhythm. I believe we can handle this project successfully. I'm confident that we'll meet the deadline. I appreciate everyone's effort on this task. Try to say them slowly, clearly, and with purpose. Now let's imagine another common workplace situation. When your manager gives you feedback or asks for updates, you might hear, "How's the progress on the report?" Or, "Can you give me a quick update on the project?" You can respond with, "Sure, we've completed the first phase, and now we're reviewing the results." Or, "We're making good progress. I'll send you the updated file by the end of the day." Try saying it with me. Sure, we've completed the first phase. We're making good progress so far. I'll send you the updated file by the end of the day. Excellent. Notice how professional yet natural these lines sound. Workplace English isn't only about words, it's also about confidence, body language, and mindset. When you speak English at work, remind yourself that you're part of a team. Your ideas and opinions matter. Speak calmly, make eye contact, and use short, clear sentences. Let's pause here for a small reflection exercise. Imagine you're at work tomorrow morning. You walk in, greet your coworkers, and take part in a meeting. Think about what phrases you could use naturally. How would you introduce yourself? How would you share your opinion? These small steps are how you build real fluency at the workplace, Now, let's talk about how to handle meetings in English at work. Meetings can sometimes feel intimidating, especially when you're not sure how to express your thoughts clearly, or when the discussion moves quickly. But don't worry. The key is to prepare useful expressions and practice them often, so they come naturally to you when needed. When you want to start speaking during a meeting, you can say, "Can I add something here?" Or, "I'd like to share my thoughts on this topic." These phrases show respect and confidence at the same time. If you want to interrupt politely, say, "Sorry to interrupt, but may I share a quick thought?" Or, "If I could just add something to what you said." Let's practice that together slowly. Repeat after me. "Can I add something here? I'd like to share my thoughts on this topic." "Sorry to interrupt, but may I share a quick thought?" Excellent. When you're presenting your idea, keep your sentences short and clear. Start with your main point, and then give supporting details. For example, "I think we could improve our workflow by using a shared calendar." Or, "In my opinion, organizing a short morning meeting could help us plan the day better." These small, simple structures help others understand your ideas easily and keep the meeting efficient. Now, let's practice presenting your opinion. Repeat after me. "I believe this idea could save us time. It might be useful to assign clear roles for each task. We could improve results by communicating more often." Perfect! Notice how calm and natural these sentences sound. This is the tone of professional fluency. If you're listening to someone's idea in a meeting and you want to show that you're paying attention, use short responses like, "Right," "I see," "That makes sense," or "I agree." These little signals show you're engaged and interested in the discussion. Here's a short listening practice. Imagine your coworker says, "I think we should finish this report by Friday." You can reply, "Right, that sounds good." Or, "I agree, Friday is a good deadline." These small but powerful responses make communication smoother and show teamwork. Now, sometimes you might not agree with someone's opinion, and that's completely normal. In those moments, the most important thing is to express disagreement politely. You can say, "I see your point, but maybe we could consider another approach." Or, "That's a valid idea, though I think there's another way to look at it." Let's practice disagreement in a calm and polite tone. "I understand what you mean, but maybe we could try something different." "That's a good point, but we might need to think about the budget." "I agree with part of your idea, but let's see if we can make it even better." Excellent work. Now imagine that during a meeting, someone asks for your opinion directly. You can respond with, "Well, from my point of view," or, "Personally, I think that," or, "I'd suggest that we focus more on." These are natural ways to join discussions smoothly. Repeat after me slowly. "From my point of view, we should keep things simple." "Personally, I think that communication is the key." "I'd suggest that we focus more on customer feedback." Beautiful. Now, let's move to another very common situation: emails and workplace communication. Writing and speaking are connected, and many of the same polite phrases we use in speech are also useful in writing. When you write an email, always start with a polite greeting like, "Hi, John," or "Dear Ms. Taylor," depending on the formality level. Then, instead of jumping directly to the point, Begin with a short opening line like, I hope you're doing well, or I hope your week is going smoothly. Then you can write your purpose clearly and politely. I'm writing to follow up on our last meeting. Or, I wanted to ask if you could please send me the updated report. These polite structures make your email sound natural and respectful. Let's practice transforming a direct sentence into a polite one. Instead of send me the report, say, could you please send me the report? Instead of I need this by today, say, if possible, could you please send it by the end of the day? See how small changes in tone completely change the feeling of your message. When ending an email, you can say, thanks for your help, or looking forward to hearing from you soon, or best regards. These polite endings leave a positive impression. Now let's practice together. Repeat after me. I hope you're doing well. Could you please send me the file when you have a chance? Thanks for your help. Best regards. At work, written communication is just as important as spoken communication. When you write messages or emails in English, imagine you're speaking politely face to face. That mindset helps you stay clear, professional, and natural. Let's move to another everyday workplace situation, asking for help or clarification. Sometimes you may not understand something your coworker says, or you might need more details about a project. You don't have to feel embarrassed. It's completely normal to ask questions politely. You can say, sorry, could you explain that again? Or, I didn't catch that. Could you repeat it, please? Repeat after me. Sorry, could you explain that again? I didn't catch that. Could you repeat it, please? Would you mind clarifying what you mean by that? Excellent. You can also use soft phrases when you're not sure about something. For example, I'm not entirely sure, but I think we should double-check the figures. Or, I believe this is correct, but let me confirm before we continue. These sentences make you sound thoughtful and careful, which is very professional in the workplace. Now let's practice a short role play together. Imagine your coworker says, can you send me the presentation from last week? You can reply, sure, let me find it and send it right away. Or, if you're not sure, you can say, I'll check and send it as soon as I find it. If your coworker gives you unclear instructions, you can say, just to confirm, do you mean the slides we used for the client meeting? Try repeating those after me slowly. Sure, let me find it and send it right away. I'll check and send it as soon as I find it. Just to confirm, do you mean the slides we used for the client meeting? Great job. Next, let's explore how to handle phone or video calls at work, a situation where many English learners feel nervous. When answering a professional call, start with a polite greeting such as, good morning, this is Natasha from the marketing team, or, hello, this is Natasha speaking. When you're calling someone, you can say, hi, this is Natasha. May I speak to Mr. Adams, please? Let's practice these slowly together. Good morning. This is Natasha from Department of Transportation. Hello. This is Natasha speaking. Hi. May I speak to Mr. John, please? Excellent. During calls, it's important to confirm information to avoid misunderstandings. You can say, let me repeat that to make sure I understood correctly. Or, just to clarify, you'd like me to send the report by Thursday, right? Repeat these lines with me. Let me repeat that to make sure I understood correctly. Just to clarify, you'd like me to send the report by Thursday, right? Perfect. When finishing a call, you can use phrases like, "Thank you for your time," or "It was great speaking with you," or "I'll follow up with an email shortly." These polite endings make your communication sound complete and professional. Now, let's do a quick call ending practice. Thank you for your time. It was great speaking with you. I'll follow up with an email shortly. Excellent. Sometimes you might face a difficult conversation at work, maybe a misunderstanding with a coworker or a disagreement with your boss. In those situations, staying calm and using polite, neutral language is the best approach. You can say, "I understand how you feel," or "Let's see how we can find a solution together." Repeat slowly after me. "I understand how you feel. Let's see how we can find a solution together. Maybe we can meet halfway on this." Perfect. When emotions are high, polite phrases act like bridges. They help keep communication smooth and professional even during stressful moments. That's why practicing them often can make you feel more in control and confident. Now take a deep breath. Imagine you're at work, facing a small challenge, maybe a delayed project or a miscommunication. Instead of reacting quickly, you take a moment and use calm English. You say, "I see the issue. Let's fix it together." That's fluency not just in language, but in attitude. Now let's explore another important situation that happens almost every day at work: team collaboration. Working with others requires not just English vocabulary, but also the right tone and attitude. When you collaborate, you're not only sharing ideas, you're also showing that you can listen, support, and communicate clearly with your team members. When you want to offer help, you can say, "Do you need a hand with that?" Or, "Would you like me to help you finish this task?" These sentences sound kind and professional at the same time. You can also say, "Let me know if you'd like me to review it for you." Or, "I can take care of that part if you're busy." Let's practice these lines slowly together. Do you need a hand with that? Would you like me to help you finish this task? Let me know if you'd like me to review it for you. Excellent. Sometimes, you might need to delegate tasks or coordinate responsibilities. You can say, "Could you take care of the design part while I handle the report?" Or, "I'll prepare the slides, and you can check the data before we present." These phrases show teamwork and clarity. Repeat after me. "Could you take care of the design part while I handle the report? I'll prepare the slides, and you can check the data before we present." That sounds good to me. Let's divide the work. Great. When you're in charge of a small team or project, you may also need to give instructions or feedback. To sound professional, use polite but direct phrases like, "Please make sure to check the numbers again before sending," or "Let's update the document with the latest figures." Avoid sounding bossy. Keep your tone respectful and collaborative. Let's practice feedback in a polite way. Please double-check the file before sending it out. Let's try to make the slides shorter and more visual. Could you update the summary section by tomorrow? Excellent. Now imagine a moment when someone on your team has done a good job. Acknowledging others' efforts is very important in English-speaking workplaces. You can say, "Great work on the presentation," or "I really liked how you explained the results." Compliments like these motivate your coworkers and help create a positive environment. Repeat after me. Great work on the presentation. I really liked how you explained the results. You did a fantastic job managing that project. Wonderful. Next, let's talk about problem-solving conversations. In every job, problems appear, deadlines, mistakes, or miscommunication. But fluent speakers don't panic. They use calm and constructive language. Instead of saying, "This is a problem," you can say, "We have a small issue we can fix together." Instead of, "It's your fault," say, "Let's see how we can avoid this next time." Repeat slowly. "We have a small issue we can fix together. Let's see how we can avoid this next time. I think we can handle this if we plan carefully." Excellent. When you're discussing solutions, you can say, "One possible option is," or "We could try," or "Maybe another approach would be." These phrases make you sound flexible and open-minded. Let's practice solution-based thinking. One possible option is to extend the deadline. We could try simplifying the process. Maybe another approach would be to communicate daily. Perfect. Now imagine you're working with people from different cultures or backgrounds. Cultural awareness is part of advanced English fluency. In international workplaces, people may have different communication styles, some more direct, others more indirect. Being aware of tone, politeness, and patience will help you connect better with everyone. For example, when someone pauses before answering, it doesn't always mean they disagree. They might just be thinking. Or when someone gives short replies, they may simply be focused or tired, not unfriendly. Understanding these small cues helps you adapt and stay professional. Let's do a short reflection practice. Imagine a coworker disagrees with your idea. Instead of feeling defensive, you say, "I see where you're coming from." That one phrase turns tension into collaboration. Repeat it with me. I see where you're coming from. Let's find something that works for both of us. I appreciate your feedback. Another big part of workplace communication is time management. Knowing how to talk about deadlines and schedules politely, you can say, "The deadline is approaching. Shall we review the progress?" Or, "I'd like to confirm the delivery date for this task." These phrases help keep projects on track without sounding demanding. Repeat after me. The deadline is approaching. Shall we review the progress? I'd like to confirm the delivery date for this task. Could we schedule a quick check-in tomorrow? Great. If you need more time, don't just say, "I can't finish it." Instead, try, "It might take a bit longer than expected, but I'll keep you updated." Or, "I'm still working on it. Would it be okay if I send it by tomorrow morning?" These polite explanations keep communication smooth. Let's practice that. "It might take a bit longer than expected, but I'll keep you updated." "I'm still working on it. Would it be okay if I send it by tomorrow morning?" Excellent. Now, another essential skill in professional English is making suggestions. You can say, "How about trying?" Or, "What if we?" Or, "Maybe we could." These soft expressions make your ideas sound open and collaborative instead of pushy. Repeat slowly after me. How about trying a different layout for the presentation? What if we divide the report into shorter sections? Maybe we could organize a quick brainstorming session. Great work. When you want to emphasize your idea politely, use expressions like, I strongly believe, or I truly think, or I'm confident that. These show conviction without being too aggressive. Let's practice that too. I strongly believe this method will save time. I truly think we can improve our communication. I'm confident that our team can meet the target. Excellent. Now, let's talk about expressing appreciation and gratitude, something that makes you sound both professional and kind. After receiving help or feedback, you can say, thanks for your support, or I appreciate your feedback, or thank you for taking the time to help me. Repeat after me slowly. Thanks for your support. I appreciate your feedback. Thank you for taking the time to help me. Perfect. Expressing gratitude regularly at work builds positive relationships and makes the environment more respectful. Remember, good English at work isn't only about grammar. It's about attitude, tone, and emotional awareness. Let's take a short mental break and visualize something. You walk into your office. Your coworker smiles and says, Morning, how are you? You reply, Good morning, I'm doing well, thank you. How about you? You walk to your desk, check your tasks, and say to yourself, All right, let's make today productive. Every line you just said was fluent, confident, and natural English, and all of it came from daily practice like this. Now, let's add another important area, discussing results and achievements. When you talk about completed tasks, use verbs like achieved, completed, managed, or delivered. You can say, We completed the project successfully, or I managed to finish the report ahead of time. Repeat after me. We completed the project successfully. I managed to finish the report ahead of time. We delivered great results this quarter. Excellent. If you're sharing progress updates, you can say, We're on track to meet the target. Or, We've made significant progress so far. These phrases make you sound clear and confident during performance discussions or meetings. Let's practice. We're on track to meet the target. We've made significant progress so far. The results are better than we expected. Perfect. Sometimes, you'll need to talk about future plans at work, upcoming projects, goals, or next steps. You can use phrases like, Our next goal is, or We're planning to, or the next step will be to. Repeat with me. Our next goal is to improve customer satisfaction. We're planning to launch the new design next month. The next step will be to gather feedback. Wonderful. When discussing future tasks, remember to sound proactive. You can say, I'll make sure we're prepared, or I'll take responsibility for that part, or let's stay in touch and follow up next week. These phrases make you sound responsible and reliable. Key traits in any professional setting. Repeat slowly. I'll make sure we're prepared. I'll take responsibility for that part. Let's stay in touch and follow up next week. You're doing great so far. And remember, fluency is built through repetition, reflection, and confidence in small steps. Every phrase you practice today will make tomorrow's English smoother and more natural. Now, let's move on to another essential part of workplace English, giving and receiving feedback. This is something that happens almost every week in a professional setting, and learning to handle it confidently in English will make you stand out as both mature and fluent. When you want to give feedback, always start with something positive before mentioning what can be improved. You can say, "You did a great job on this report. One thing we could make even better is the structure of the introduction." Or, "I really like how you explain the data. Maybe we could make the visuals a bit clearer next time." Let's practice saying it naturally together. "You did a great job on this report. One thing we could improve is the introduction. I really liked how you explained the data. Maybe we could make the visuals clearer next time." When you're receiving feedback, it's important to show openness and gratitude rather than defensiveness. You can say, "Thank you for the feedback. I'll definitely work on that." Or, "I appreciate you pointing that out. It helps me improve." These sentences show emotional intelligence and professionalism. Repeat after me slowly. "Thank you for the feedback. I'll definitely work on that. I appreciate you pointing that out. It helps me improve. Thanks for letting me know. I'll make sure to adjust it next time." Excellent. Sometimes feedback may come unexpectedly, or you might not agree with it completely. In that case, stay calm and respond with phrases like, "I understand what you mean," or, "That's a good point. I'll think about how to apply it." These keep the conversation constructive and respectful. Let's practice that calmly. "I understand what you mean. That's a good point. I'll think about how to apply it." "I see what you're saying, and I'll try to make the changes." Perfect. Now, let's move to another common workplace scenario, discussing priorities and workload. It's normal to have multiple tasks or deadlines, and you need to communicate clearly about what you're working on and what needs attention first. You can say, "At the moment, I'm focusing on the report, but I'll start the new presentation once it's done." Or, "I can complete this today, but I might need extra time for the other task." These expressions help your coworkers or managers understand your situation. Repeat after me slowly. "At the moment, I'm focusing on the report. I'll start the new presentation once it's done. I can complete this today, but I might need extra time for the other task." Excellent. If someone gives you too many tasks, you can respond politely by discussing priorities instead of saying no directly. For example, "I'd be happy to take that on. Could we discuss which task should come first?" Or, "I'll do my best to handle both, but I may need to adjust the schedule." Repeat with me. "I'd be happy to take that on. Could we discuss which task should come first? I'll do my best to handle both, but I may need to adjust the schedule." Let's prioritize these together so we stay on track. Wonderful. Another part of communication at work is talking about problems or mistakes. Everyone makes mistakes, but how you handle them shows your character and fluency. When something goes wrong, take responsibility calmly and focus on solutions. You can say, "I made an error in the report. I'll correct it immediately." Or, "There was a small issue, but I'm already working on fixing it." Repeat after me. "I made an error in the report. I'll correct it immediately. There was a small issue, but I'm already working on fixing it." Thanks for catching that. I'll update it right away. Excellent. If the mistake wasn't yours but part of a group effort, avoid blaming others. You can say, "There seems to have been some confusion in the process. Let's figure out how it happened." Or, "It looks like we missed a step. Let's fix it together. This shows responsibility and teamwork. Let's practice those lines. There seems to have been some confusion in the process. It looks like we missed a step. Let's fix it together. We can solve this quickly if we coordinate. Great job. Now imagine you're talking with your manager about your performance or progress. This can feel formal, but with the right expressions, it becomes easy and confident. You can start with, "I'd like to discuss my recent projects," or "I wanted to share my progress and get your thoughts." Repeat after me. I'd like to discuss my recent projects. I wanted to share my progress and get your thoughts. I'd appreciate your feedback on my latest work. Excellent. When you're describing your achievements, use active language like, I contributed to, I managed, I led, I improved, or I developed. These words sound confident and professional. Let's practice. I managed a team of 3 people for this project. I developed a new plan that helped us meet the deadline. I improved our communication system by organizing weekly check-ins. Very nice. Now let's imagine another real workplace situation, negotiating or making requests. This can happen when you need resources, support, or adjustments to your workload. Polite negotiation is about balancing confidence with respect. You can say, "Would it be possible to get an extra day to finalize this report?" Or, "Could we consider hiring an intern to support this project?" Or, "I'd really appreciate some feedback before the final version." Repeat after me. Would it be possible to get an extra day to finalize this report? Could we consider hiring an intern to support this project? I'd really appreciate some feedback before the final version. Excellent. When you need to say no or decline politely, you can say, "I'd love to help, but I'm currently focused on another task." Or, "I'm afraid I won't be able to take that on right now, but I can help later this week." This keeps your tone respectful and cooperative. Practice this carefully. I'd love to help, but I'm currently focused on another task. I'm afraid I won't be able to take that on right now. Maybe I can help later this week once I finish my current work. Wonderful. Now, let's shift to a softer side of communication, building relationships at work. Fluency isn't only about formal conversations, it's also about friendliness and connection. You can build relationships by remembering small details, asking how your colleagues are doing, celebrating their successes, or simply sharing a few positive words each day. For example, "Congratulations on your presentation. It was amazing." Or, "I hope you had a relaxing weekend." Or, "It's great working with you on this project." These little sentences go a long way in creating a healthy workplace atmosphere. Repeat after me slowly. Congratulations on your presentation. It was amazing. I hope you had a relaxing weekend. It's great working with you on this project. Excellent. Now, let's practice a short daily conversation together. Imagine it's Monday morning. I'll speak both sides, and you can repeat along. Hey, how was your weekend? It was nice, thanks. I spent time with family. How about you? Pretty good. Just relaxed and caught up on some sleep. That sounds great. Ready for another busy week? Absolutely. This kind of natural, light exchange builds connection and comfort in the workplace, and it helps you practice small talk fluency in real time. Now imagine it's the end of the week. You can say, "Have a great weekend," or "Enjoy your time off," or "See you on Monday." Repeat after me. Have a great weekend. Enjoy your time off. See you on Monday. Perfect. Fluency is not about speed. It's about comfort and connection. The more you practice small, natural interactions like these, the more confident you'll become in every area of your professional life. Now take a deep breath and imagine walking into your next workplace conversation. You greet your coworkers, share your ideas clearly, listen respectfully, and respond naturally. Each phrase flows effortlessly because you've practiced it here, step by step, calmly, and confidently. Let's continue by exploring one of the most powerful skills in professional English: handling meetings and presentations with confidence. Many English learners feel nervous about speaking in front of a group, but with the right phrases and tone, you can sound calm, fluent, and professional every time you speak. When you start a meeting, you can say, "Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining." Or, "Let's begin with a quick overview of today's agenda." You can also say, "I'll start by summarizing where we are right now." These opening phrases show leadership and confidence. Let's practice together. Slowly. Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining. Let's begin with a quick overview of today's agenda. I'll start by summarizing where we are right now. Excellent. During a meeting, it's important to keep the discussion clear and structured. You can say, "Let's move on to the next point." Or, "Before we continue, does anyone have questions?" These phrases help you sound organized and professional. Repeat after me. Let's move on to the next point. Before we continue, does anyone have questions? That's a great comment. Let's note it down. Perfect. If you're presenting data or results, use linking phrases that make your ideas flow naturally. For example, first of all, next, as you can see, and finally. These small connectors guide your audience through your ideas. Easily. Let's do a short presentation practice. First of all, let's look at the recent results. Next, we'll discuss what they mean for our next steps. As you can see, the numbers have improved significantly. Finally, I'd like to share a few suggestions for the next phase. Excellent rhythm. Now, if someone asks you a question during your presentation and you need time to think, don't rush. Use natural fillers like, "That's a great question," or, "Let me think about that for a moment." These phrases buy you a few seconds and show calmness under pressure. Repeat slowly. "That's a great question. Let me think about that for a moment." I believe the main reason is the new approach we used. Perfect. When you finish your presentation, end with a clear and polite conclusion. You can say, "That's all from my side. Thank you for listening." Or, "I hope this gives you a clear picture. I'll be happy to answer any questions." Repeat with me. "That's all from my side. Thank you for listening." I hope this gives you a clear picture. I'll be happy to answer any questions. Excellent. Another useful skill is handling unexpected situations during presentations. Maybe the projector stops working, or someone interrupts you. Stay calm and say, "Let's take a short pause while we fix this." Or, "That's fine. Let's continue without the slides." Calmness in tone always sounds professional. Now let's talk about professional networking and workplace communication outside of meetings. Networking isn't only for business events, it happens every time you meet someone new at work or communicate with people from another department. When you meet someone new, you can say, "It's nice to finally meet you. I've heard great things about your work." Or, "I've been looking forward to collaborating with you." These sentences sound confident and friendly at the same time. Repeat after me slowly. It's nice to finally meet you. I've heard great things about your work. I've been looking forward to collaborating with you. I'm really glad we get to work together on this project. Excellent. When you want to maintain connections, you can send short follow-up messages like, "It was great meeting you today," or "I really enjoyed our conversation," or "Let's keep in touch about the project." Repeat after me. It was great meeting you today. I really enjoyed our conversation. Let's keep in touch about the project. Very good. Now, let's shift to a more challenging but realistic topic: dealing with stress and pressure at work. In English conversations, sometimes you'll feel overwhelmed with tasks or deadlines, but expressing your feelings calmly helps you manage stress and communicate clearly. You can say, "It's been a busy week, but we're making progress." Or, "There's a lot going on right now, but I'm handling it step by step." Instead of saying, "I'm so stressed," try to use positive language like, "It's challenging, but I'm managing." Repeat after me slowly. It's been a busy week, but we're making progress. There's a lot going on right now, but I'm handling it step by step. It's challenging, but I'm managing. Great job. When you feel overloaded and need support, you can say, "I might need some help with this project." Or, "Would it be okay to extend the deadline by one day?" These phrases sound respectful while expressing your needs clearly. Repeat with me. I might need some help with this project. Would it be okay to extend the deadline by one day? Could someone assist with the final review? Excellent. Now let's discuss expressing opinions in group discussions. When several people are sharing ideas, you can use polite entry phrases like, "If I may add something," or "I'd like to share my thoughts on this." These expressions help you join conversations smoothly, without interrupting. Repeat after me. If I may add something, I'd like to share my thoughts on this. I completely agree with that point. Wonderful. When you want to emphasize your opinion, but still sound polite, you can say, "I strongly feel that," or "I believe it's important to consider," or "From my experience." These make your contribution sound thoughtful and confident. Repeat slowly. I strongly feel that this approach could save time. I believe it's important to consider the client's feedback. From my experience, communication is the key. Perfect. Sometimes discussions can become heated or fast-paced. In such moments, it's helpful to bring the tone back to calm professionalism. You can say, "Let's stay focused on the main goal," or "I think we're all trying to reach the same result." Repeat after me. Let's stay focused on the main goal. I think we're all trying to reach the same result. We may have different ideas, but the same objective. Excellent control and tone. Now, let's explore handling cultural differences in workplace English. In international teams, different communication styles can create misunderstandings, but awareness and kindness solve most of them. For example, in some cultures, people speak directly, while in others, they prefer softer expressions. Learn to listen to tone, not only words. When someone sounds brief, don't assume they're angry. Maybe they're just being efficient. And when someone takes longer to answer, it might mean they're being thoughtful. Here's a short awareness practice. Imagine a coworker says, "I'm not sure that will work." Instead of feeling defensive, you calmly say, "I see your point. Maybe we can find a middle ground." That small response shows emotional maturity and fluency beyond grammar. Repeat after me slowly. "I see your point. Maybe we can find a middle ground." "I understand. Let's explore both options." That's an interesting perspective. Thanks for sharing. Excellent. Now let's talk about expressing excitement and positivity at work. Showing enthusiasm makes your communication more engaging and natural. You can say, "That sounds great," or "I'm really excited about this project," or "I'm looking forward to seeing how it turns out." Repeat after me. "That sounds great." "I'm really excited about this project." "I'm looking forward to seeing how it turns out." Wonderful energy. At the same time, keep your tone balanced. Enthusiasm in English doesn't mean speaking loudly. It's more about your rhythm and warmth in words. Now, let's imagine you're ending your workday. In English, you can say, "I'm heading out for the day," or "I'll see you tomorrow," or "Have a good evening." These friendly phrases make your workplace conversations sound natural and fluent. Repeat after me. "I'm heading out for the day. I'll see you tomorrow. Have a good evening." Perfect. As you can see, fluency at work is about rhythm, the rhythm of politeness, teamwork, and kindness. In your words, the more you practice this rhythm, the easier it becomes to think, speak, and react naturally in English conversations every single day. Now, take a deep breath and visualize your next workplace moment. You walk into a meeting room, greet everyone, share your thoughts calmly, respond to questions, and end with confidence. Every phrase you've practiced here becomes part of your daily speech, without translation or hesitation. That's the power of practice and repetition. Let's continue by talking about another essential aspect of communication at work: problem-solving and decision-making conversations. These are moments when your fluency is tested the most because you need to think clearly, express ideas politely, and build understanding among different opinions. When you face a challenge at work, avoid saying, "I don't know what to do." Instead, use professional English that focuses on solutions. For example, "Let's look at the options we have," or "I think we can find a way forward if we review the details." These phrases make you sound calm and proactive. Repeat after me slowly. "Let's look at the options we have." "I think we can find a way forward if we review the details." "We can figure this out step by step." Excellent. When you need to propose an idea, use phrases like, "What if we tried?" or "Another possible solution could be," or "It might be worth considering." These structures show creativity and respect for teamwork. Repeat with me. What if we tried using a shared document? Another possible solution could be to hold a short daily meeting. It might be worth considering a simpler design. Wonderful. If you agree with someone's idea, say, "That's a good suggestion," or "I like that approach. Let's explore it further." And if you disagree, don't reject the idea directly. You can say, "That's interesting, but maybe we could combine it with another method." Or, "I see your point, though I think we need more data before deciding." Let's practice both agreement and disagreement. That's a good suggestion. I like that approach. Let's explore it further. That's interesting, but maybe we could combine it with another method. I see your point, though I think we need more data before deciding. Perfect balance and tone. Now, sometimes you'll have to make a decision or express final approval in English. You can say, "Let's go ahead with this plan." Or, "I think we're ready to move forward." Or, "This looks good to me." Repeat after me slowly. Let's go ahead with this plan. I think we're ready to move forward. This looks good to me. Excellent. If you're the one receiving approval or direction, you can respond with, "Got it, I'll proceed with that." Or, "Understood, I'll start working on it right away." Repeat after me. Got it, I'll proceed with that. Understood, I'll start working on it right away. I'll keep you updated on the progress. Great work. Now let's imagine you're part of a brainstorming session, a creative meeting where people share new ideas freely. Fluency here means being spontaneous, yet polite. You can say, "Just an idea, but what if we," or "Maybe it's worth testing this approach." These soft openers make your thoughts sound flexible and cooperative. Repeat slowly. Just an idea, but what if we change the layout? Maybe it's worth testing this approach. It might help to look at what other teams are doing. Excellent rhythm. If you like someone's idea during brainstorming, say, "That's brilliant," or "I like where you're going with that," or "Let's build on that idea." These positive signals encourage collaboration and creativity. Repeat after me. That's brilliant. I like where you're going with that. Let's build on that idea. Perfect. Now let's focus on leadership communication. Even if you're not a manager, these phrases help you sound responsible and inspiring at work. Leadership is not about authority. It's about clarity, empathy, and motivation in how you speak. When you want to encourage your team, you can say, "Great job, everyone. I really appreciate your effort." Or, "We're doing amazing. Let's keep the same energy." Positive language like this lifts morale and creates connection. Repeat slowly after me. "Great job, everyone. I really appreciate your effort. We're doing amazing. Let's keep the same energy. Thanks for your hard work. It really makes a difference." Excellent. When you need to handle conflict or disagreement within a team, use calm phrases that bring balance. You can say, "Let's make sure everyone's voice is heard," or "I understand both sides. Let's find a middle ground." Repeat after me. Let's make sure everyone's voice is heard. I understand both sides. Let's find a middle ground. We can solve this together with a little teamwork. Wonderful. Another key aspect of advanced workplace fluency is communicating with clients or customers. Professionalism here is essential. Your words represent your company, and your tone builds trust. When greeting a client, you can say, "Good morning, it's great to speak with you," or "Thank you for taking the time to meet with us." When presenting your service or product, say, We'd be happy to explain how this can help you. Or, let me walk you through the details. Repeat with me slowly. Good morning. It's great to speak with you. Thank you for taking the time to meet with us. Let me walk you through the details. Excellent. When addressing client concerns, stay calm and solution-oriented. You can say, I completely understand your concern. Let's see how we can resolve it quickly. Or, thanks for bringing this to our attention. We'll make sure it's handled right away. Repeat after me. I completely understand your concern. Let's see how we can resolve it quickly. Thanks for bringing this to our attention. We'll make sure it's handled right away. We'll do our best to fix this immediately. Perfect tone and control. When ending a conversation with a client, use polite closing phrases such as, It was a pleasure speaking with you, or, We appreciate your time. We'll follow up soon. These small expressions leave a strong professional impression. Repeat after me. It was a pleasure speaking with you. We appreciate your time. We'll follow up soon. Have a wonderful day ahead. Excellent. Now, let's move to email and digital communication etiquette, one of the most important forms of workplace English today. Emails, chat messages, and reports reflect your professionalism and attention to detail. When writing emails, always keep your sentences short, polite, and clear. Start with a greeting, state your purpose, give details briefly, and end with thanks or a clear next step. For example, Hi Alex, I hope you're doing well. I just wanted to confirm our meeting time for tomorrow at 3 p.m. Please let me know if that still works for you. Best regards, Natasha. Let's practice transforming an informal message into a professional one. Instead of, Send me the file ASAP, say, Could you please send me the file when you have a moment? Instead of, I didn't get your reply, say, Just following up to check if you received my previous email. Repeat after me. Could you please send me the file when you have a moment? Just following up to check if you received my previous email. Excellent. Also, avoid emotional or rushed language in written English. Always read your message once before sending it. Ask yourself, does this sound clear, polite, and professional? A simple edit can make a big difference in how people perceive you. Now, let's imagine a short scenario. Your manager sends you a message asking for an update. You can reply, Hi, thanks for checking in. The project is on track, and we're currently reviewing the final details. I'll share the report by tomorrow afternoon. This sounds confident, clear, and organized. Repeat with me slowly. Hi, thanks for checking in. The project is on track, and we're reviewing the final details. I'll share the report by tomorrow afternoon. Perfect. Next, let's explore career growth and self-development conversations in English. At some point, you'll want to talk about your goals, training, or promotion, and that requires confident, polite English. You can start with, I'd like to discuss how I can take on more responsibility. Or, I'm interested in learning new skills that could help the team. These sentences sound motivated and professional. Repeat after me. I'd like to discuss how I can take on more responsibility. I'm interested in learning new skills that could help the team. I'd appreciate your advice on improving my performance. Excellent. When you're having a career discussion with your manager, use phrases like, I really enjoy working on projects that challenge me. Or, I'd love to contribute to more strategic areas. Repeat slowly. I really enjoy working on projects that challenge me. I'd love to contribute to more strategic areas. I'm open to new opportunities to grow. Wonderful. These kinds of conversations not only improve your fluency, but also help you build real-world confidence, the ability to express who you are and what you want in a calm, natural, professional way. Let's now talk about another important skill for professional fluency: handling workplace conversations related to conflict, misunderstandings, and emotional balance. Every workplace has a moments when things don't go as planned. Maybe a project is delayed, a colleague misunderstands you, or a conversation becomes tense. Learning to stay calm and use balanced English can transform those difficult moments into opportunities for better teamwork and trust. When someone disagrees with you, it's tempting to respond quickly. But fluent English speakers take a second to breathe and choose gentle words. You can say, "I understand what you mean," or "That's a fair point," or "I see where you're coming from." These short sentences help you slow down the tension before continuing the discussion. Repeat slowly after me. I understand what you mean. That's a fair point. I see where you're coming from. Excellent. If you need to express your own side politely, you can continue with, "At the same time, I think we should also consider," or, "From my perspective, there might be another way to look at it." These phrases show confidence without confrontation. Repeat with me. At the same time, I think we should also consider. From my perspective, there might be another way to look at it. Wonderful. When emotions rise, it's best to shift the tone towards solutions. You can say, "Let's focus on finding a solution," or, "I think we both want the same result. Let's see how we can get there." These are simple but powerful expressions of emotional intelligence at work. Repeat slowly. Let's focus on finding a solution. I think we both want the same result. Let's see how we can get there. We can fix this if we work together calmly. Perfect. Sometimes conflict comes from miscommunication. Maybe an email was misunderstood, or instructions were unclear. In that case, don't rush to blame. You can say, "I think there might have been a misunderstanding," or, "Just to clarify, this is what I meant." These phrases show maturity and respect. Repeat after me. I think there might have been a misunderstanding. Just to clarify, this is what I meant. I apologize if that wasn't clear earlier. Great job. If you ever make a mistake that affects others, admitting it politely shows strength, not weakness. You can say, "I'm sorry for the confusion. It won't happen again." Or, "Thanks for your patience while I fix this." Calm apologies build trust and professionalism. Repeat slowly. I'm sorry for the confusion. It won't happen again. Thanks for your patience while I fix this. I appreciate your understanding. Excellent. Now let's move on to expressing empathy and encouragement, one of the softest and most human parts of fluent workplace communication. When someone on your team is struggling, showing support helps create a positive environment. You can say, "Don't worry, we'll figure it out together." Or, "Take your time. I know it's been a busy week." Repeat after me. Don't worry, we'll figure it out together. Take your time. I know it's been a busy week. You've done a great job so far. Keep going. Perfect. Fluent professionals also use empathy in small, everyday ways. When someone is tired, stressed, or quiet, you might say, "You've been working really hard lately. Make sure you take a break." Or, "I can see you've put a lot of effort into this." These little phrases make people feel seen and appreciated. Let's practice those lines together. "You've been working really hard lately. Make sure you take a break." "I can see you've put a lot of effort into this." "Thanks for giving your best. It means a lot." Excellent. Now let's talk about expressing boundaries and saying no respectfully. Something even advanced speakers find difficult. In professional English, saying no doesn't mean being negative. It means being clear and polite. Instead of saying, "I can't do that," you can say, "I'd love to help, but I'm afraid my schedule is full this week." Or, "I don't think I can take this on right now, but maybe later." You can also say, "Let's see if there's another way to manage this." Repeat after me slowly. "I'd love to help, but I'm afraid my schedule is full this week. I don't think I can take this on right now, but maybe later. Let's see if there's another way to manage this." Excellent control and tone. Now, let's imagine another moment. You've just finished a big project or presentation, and you need to talk about results with your team. You can say, "I'm really proud of what we achieved." Or, "This was a great effort from everyone involved." Repeat after me. "I'm really proud of what we achieved." "This was a great effort from everyone involved." "We made this happen together." Great teamwork. Wonderful. When you want to give recognition to someone else, you can say, "All credit goes to you. Your work made this possible." Or, "You did an outstanding job managing this part." Repeat slowly. All credit goes to you. Your work made this possible. You did an outstanding job managing this part. Your effort really stands out. Perfect. Now let's explore motivation and goal-setting conversations, the kind you might have during meetings, team updates, or performance reviews. When discussing goals, use language that sounds positive and forward-looking. You can say, "Our goal this quarter is to improve communication," or, "We're aiming to complete the next project ahead of schedule." These expressions help everyone focus on progress instead of pressure. Repeat after me. Our goal this quarter is to improve communication. We're aiming to complete the next project ahead of schedule. Let's stay consistent and make steady progress. Excellent. When you want to motivate others, use phrases like, "We're on the right track," or "We can do this," or "Let's keep the momentum going." Repeat with me. We're on the right track. We can do this. Let's keep the momentum going. Very nice. Sometimes motivation also comes from celebrating small wins. You can say, "That was a small step, but it made a big difference." Or, "Every little improvement counts." These positive reflections create a healthy and optimistic mindset at work. Repeat after me. That was a small step, but it made a big difference. Every little improvement counts. We're getting better every single day. Perfect rhythm. Now, let's focus on developing professional relationships through active listening. In advanced English, fluency isn't just about speaking. It's also about how you listen, nod, and respond with empathy. When someone is speaking, you can show interest by saying short responses like, "Right, I understand," "That's true," or "Exactly." These small signals show that you're present in the conversation. Let's practice short listening responses together. Right. Exactly. That's true. I understand. Great. When you want to show deeper listening, use phrases like, "That's an interesting point," or "I hadn't thought about it that way," or "Thanks for sharing that perspective." Repeat slowly. "That's an interesting point." "I hadn't thought about it that way." "Thanks for sharing that perspective." Excellent listening tone. Now, let's take a short, realistic role-play reflection. Imagine you're sitting in a meeting. Your colleague shares an idea you hadn't considered before. Instead of staying silent, you say, "That's an interesting approach. Could you tell me more about it?" You've just created connection, curiosity, and collaboration. That's true fluency in action. Repeat with me slowly. "That's an interesting approach. Could you tell me more about it?" "I really like that idea. How do you think we can apply it?" "That makes a lot of sense. Great job." Now, let's move into one more powerful skill: reflective and growth-oriented language. Advanced English speakers often use phrases that show awareness and continuous improvement. For example, "I've learned a lot from this experience." Or, "Next time, I'll try a different method." Repeat after me. "I've learned a lot from this experience. Next time, I'll try a different method. I can see how much I've improved." Excellent mindset. You can also talk about learning moments with others. "This project taught us the value of communication." Or, "We handled the challenges better than before." Repeat slowly. "This project taught us the value of communication." "We handled the challenges better than before." "We're growing as a team." Perfect. When you use English with reflection, empathy, and calmness, it doesn't just sound fluent, it sounds human, trustworthy, and strong. So take a deep breath now and picture your next workday. You walk into your office or log into your virtual workspace. Your words flow naturally, your tone stays polite and confident, and you connect easily with everyone around you. That is what advanced workplace fluency feels like: natural, effortless, and professional. Now let's move into one of the most advanced parts of workplace communication: balancing professionalism with personality. At this stage, fluency is not just about speaking correctly, it's about speaking naturally while showing who you are. The best professionals sound warm, confident, and genuine at the same time. When you talk to others at work, try to blend polite structure with a relaxed tone. For example, instead of saying only "good morning," you can say "good morning. How's everything going today?" Instead of "thank you can say "thank you so much. I really appreciate your help." Those small additions make your English sound alive and human. Repeat slowly after me. "Good morning. How's everything going today?" "Thank you so much. I really appreciate your help. I hope your day's going well so far." Excellent. Now imagine you're in a situation where you need to connect with someone new, across departments, or even from another company. You can say, "Hi, I'm Natasha. I've heard about your work on the new project. It's great to finally meet you." This kind of introduction sounds confident and open, without sounding rehearsed. Repeat with me. "Hi, I'm Natasha. I've heard about your work on the new project. It's great to finally meet you. It's nice to connect. I've been looking forward to collaborating with you. I've read your report. Very insightful work. wonderful flow and tone. When you want to build long-term professional relationships, keep your follow-ups warm and polite. After a meeting, you might send a short message saying, "It was great talking with you today. Thank you for your time." Or, "I enjoyed our conversation. Looking forward to working together again." These small follow-ups show respect and make you memorable. Repeat after me. It was great talking with you today. Thank you for your time. I enjoyed our conversation. Looking forward to working together again. Let's stay in touch about future opportunities. Excellent rhythm. Now, let's practice real workplace conversations that combine many of the phrases we've learned. Picture this short dialogue between two colleagues. Repeat each line after me slowly, as if you're acting it out with me. Hey, Natasha, do you have a minute to review the client report? Sure, give me 1 second. I'll open it now. I made a few updates based on your suggestions. Perfect, let's go through them together. I really appreciate your feedback last time. It helped a lot. No problem at all. That's what teamwork is for. Great. Notice how natural and friendly that exchange sounds, yet it's still professional and polite. Now, another example, a conversation with the manager. Hi, do you have a moment to discuss my progress on the project? Of course, come in. How's it going so far? Everything's on track. We've completed the first stage and are preparing the presentation. Excellent. Let me know if you need any support. Thank you. I appreciate your guidance. Repeat those lines slowly until they sound natural in your voice. These are the kinds of conversations that make your English feel effortless in real life. Now imagine you're part of an international meeting where different opinions are being shared quickly. Someone says, "I'm not sure that idea will work." You can calmly respond, "I see your point. Maybe we can test both approaches and compare results." This kind of balanced English helps you stay professional and confident under pressure. Repeat with me. I see your point. Maybe we can test both approaches and compare results. That's a valid concern. Let's discuss how we can make it work. I appreciate your feedback. It gives us more to think about. Excellent composure and tone. Now let's practice confidence in formal communication. For example, when you're writing or speaking in official company settings like reviews, client meetings, or presentations to senior managers, use steady, measured phrases that sound strong but respectful. You can say, "Our results demonstrate clear improvement in efficiency," or, "We're confident that this plan aligns with our overall goals." You can also say, "Based on our analysis, this strategy offers the best outcome." Repeat slowly. Our results demonstrate clear improvement in efficiency. We're confident that this plan aligns with our overall goals. Based on our analysis, this strategy offers the best outcome. Excellent professionalism. Now imagine you need to write a formal report summary in English. You can structure it like this. This quarter, our team focused on improving response times and reducing delays. As a result, we achieved a 15% increase in efficiency. Moving forward, we plan to apply the same model to other departments. Repeat after me. This quarter, our team focused on improving response times. We achieved a 15% increase in efficiency. We plan to apply the same model to other departments. Now let's shift to something softer again, expressing appreciation and encouragement after a long week or a challenging project. You can say, "We made it through a tough week. Great job, everyone." Or, "I'm really proud of how we handled everything together." Repeat with me. We made it through a tough week. Great job, everyone. I'm really proud of how we handled everything together. Thank you all for your dedication and hard work. Excellent teamwork tone. Sometimes you might want to end the week or a meeting with something positive to keep motivation high. You can say, "Before we wrap up, I just want to thank everyone for their contribution." Or, "This was a productive session. Let's keep up the great work." Repeat after me. Before we wrap up, I just want to thank everyone for their contribution. This was a productive session. Let's keep up the great work. Looking forward to next week's progress. Wonderful energy. Now, let's move to building confidence for career growth. Because fluency is not only about speaking, but also about believing that your ideas matter. You can say, "I'd like to share an idea that might help us." Or, "I think there's potential for improvement here." These phrases sound humble yet confident, perfect for advanced English speakers. Repeat slowly. I'd like to share an idea that might help us. I think there's potential for improvement here. Let's explore this further and see what we find. When you feel unsure, remember, confidence in English is not the absence of mistakes. It's the ability to continue speaking with calmness and clarity even if you make them. Fluency grows from comfort, not perfection. Take a deep breath. Imagine yourself sitting in your office or in front of your computer screen during a video meeting. You smile. Introduce your idea clearly, listen carefully, and respond with poise. That is what true professional English sounds like. Confident, polite, and natural. Now let's practice a complete reflection conversation that brings everything together. Hey Natasha, how do you feel about how this week went? I think it went well. We managed to complete our main goals. Yes, and communication was smoother this time. Definitely. I noticed we were all more organized during meetings. That's true, and the client seemed really satisfied with our presentation. Exactly. Teamwork made it possible. Repeat each line slowly until it feels natural in your own rhythm. This type of reflection is the best daily practice for fluency. Short, real, and full of emotion. Now let's end today's session with a few motivation lines to strengthen your mindset as an English learner and professional. Remember, you don't need to speak fast to sound fluent. You just need to speak clearly, calmly, and with purpose. Fluency grows when you stop translating in your head and start trusting your thoughts in English. Every word you say with confidence becomes a step toward your professional success. Repeat after me softly. I can speak English confidently at work. I communicate clearly and professionally. Every day, my English becomes more natural. I'm proud of my progress. I'm ready for any English conversation at my workplace. Excellent. Every phrase you practice today, every slow repetition, every polite sentence, every confident response has built a stronger foundation for your English fluency. Remember, communication is not just about language, it's about connection, clarity, and confidence. So the next time you step into your office, join a meeting, or send an email, carry this calm, fluent energy with you. Smile, breathe, and speak from a place of professionalism and authenticity. Thank you so much for learning with me today. Keep practicing these conversations daily. Repeat them aloud, and soon they'll become part of your natural flow. You are becoming fluent, confident, and ready for every workplace situation. I'm Natasha, and I'll see you again in the next English in Minutes lesson. Until then, keep learning, keep improving, and keep speaking English with confidence. See you soon!